We are not qualified health professionals. This content is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition, treatment, or diet changes. These are our personal experiences and opinions and are not intended to be used in place of medical treatment.
Welcome back to Chats and Recaps. As always, my name is Sammy.
And I'm Mimi.
And today we're doing a chat. So let's get to chatting.
I'm going to try as best as possible for my chair not to make any noise during the recording of this podcast so as not to trigger crazy laughing.
She's talking about me.
Yeah. So today on our podcast, we're going to be talking about the keto diet. But before we get into that, we just want to quickly give a shout out because Father's Day just passed. So we want to say happy Father's Day to everyone out there. Hope everyone had a wonderful Father's Day to all the fathers and to all of the single mothers who act as fathers every day for their children.
Amen to that.
And we also want to give a shout out to our incredibly supportive family that's listening in over in New Jersey.
That's right.
Hi, we
love
see
you guys. Miss you.
We hear you. We love you. And we hope to see you soon. And now we're going to go ahead and jump into what this episode is all about. So today we're talking all about keto diet. But before we get all into the keto diet, I'm sure you've heard of it at one point or another. But in case you haven't, we're just going to fill you in on what that means. So keto is derived from the term ketogenic. It's actually a term that is used for a low-carb diet, similar to the Atkins. The idea basically is that you get more calories from protein and fat and less from carbohydrates. So you cut back most on the carbs that are easy to digest, like sugar, soda, pastries, and white bread. When you eat less than 50 grams of carbs a day, your body eventually runs out of fuel that is pulling from your blood sugar that it can use quickly. And it typically takes about 3 to 4 days. And then you'll start to break down protein and fat for energy, which can make you lose weight. And this fat burning mode is called ketosis. So in our particular diet, we have been choosing to limit carbs to around 25 to 30. And it's different for every person on what carb intake will specifically get you into ketosis.
And that's 25 to 30 grams a day.
Correct. So we're talking about grams of carbs. And we want to go a little bit into what do we mean when we're calculating carbs. So when we talk about carbs, we're actually talking about net carbs. When you're calculating net carbs and you're looking at the nutrition info on an item, where you see the carbohydrate content, underneath the carbohydrate content, you'll see 2 or 3 little
sub-ingredients,
subcategories of carbohydrates. That includes fiber and sugars. And then sometimes underneath sugars, you'll see added sugars, and then you'll see sugar alcohols. So when we calculate net carbs, we subtract the fiber, and if there's any sugar alcohol included in the food, that would include things like erythritol, stevia, monk fruit, those types of fruits that don't actually affect your glucose levels in your body. We'll subtract those, and that'll give you your net carb content. So let's say that you're eating a jar of peanut butter, and the jar of peanut butter has, well, you're not eating the whole jar, of course. You're only having a serving of peanut butter.
Like 2 tablespoons.
I mean, most people, I would assume, don't eat a full jar of peanut butter. But so let's say a serving of peanut butter has 4 grams of carbs, and then underneath the carbs, you see that it contains 2 grams of fiber, no added sugar. So what you're going to do is take the 4 minus the 2, and then you have 2 net carbs. So that's how much you know is in your serving of carbs. And that's what we calculate on the keto diet.
And of course, you know, if you need more information on how to do that, you can always look that up online. We did a lot of research on this. Well, she did a lot of research on this. I just listened to her.
So I'm sure your next question is, well, that all sounds fine and dandy, but how do I actually know I'm in ketosis? Now, this is the trickiest part. So the really only way that you can know for sure you're in ketosis is to actually test yourself. And I've done research all over the internet on what way works best. And ultimately, I landed on using a urine analysis strip. So there also are blood testing kits that are available out there that work almost exactly like a diabetic blood glucose monitor, but it only gives you the reading of ketones in your blood. So the ketone level in your blood actually indicates if you're in ketosis and what level, which is really a crucial part of getting the right results from your diet.
If you're not in ketosis, you're not going to lose.
Pretty much. You can also get ketone readings in your urine as well, and based off of a lot of research, the readings are fairly accurate, so we chose to go this route because it was more cost effective, and it's turned out to be very accurate for our use as well. So the ketone test strips, you can purchase them anywhere. We purchased ours from Amazon, and it comes in a tube, and you have to make sure that you follow the directions for storing your tube. It's very important so that your test strips don't go bad.
It's like pee on a stick.
Pretty much. So there's a chart on the side of the urine tube with several different color schemes. I believe ours has 5. And depending on what color it turns after you pee on the strip, it will help you figure out what level of ketosis you're in. So you can be negative, meaning you have no ketones in your blood. That means you're probably not burning anything. Your body is still using sugar. Or you can read ketone levels anywhere up to 16. But the sweet spot that we're looking for on the keto diet is you want to maintain between 1.5 and 3. That is what is considered like the sweet spot for losing weight.
So the only thing to know with the urine analysis strips is that in the beginning, you're going to get proper reading. And once you reach ketosis, for an extended period of time, the ketones in your urine may actually decrease because your body should be effectively keeping those ketones in your bloodstream for fat burning. So if you have readings that you are in ketosis for a long time and then the readings go down, but you are still losing weight, you could still be in ketosis but not losing any in your urine.
Yeah, so basically to break it down into simpler terms, you feed your body sugar, correct? You're probably nodding your head right now because most of us do.
Yes.
It's in pretty much all our food unless you're somebody who only eats plants, which I don't know many people that do. But basically, right now, your body is thriving off of the sugar. And you might be saying to yourself, oh, well, actually, I try to stay away from sugar. So then I'm going to ask you this question. How much bread do you eat? How much pasta do you consume? How many potatoes do you eat? Potato is a vegetable, but it's a very high carb vegetable. How about carrots? How about pizza? Anytime that you go out? How about donuts? Anything like that? Guys, all those things have carbs. And what does your body do with a carb? It turns it into sugar. So if you're wondering, why am I not losing any weight? I'm cutting back my calories. I'm doing this and that. But you're still feeding your body high carbs. Your body is taking that sugar and that's what it's using to fuel you through your day.
We're doing this for you.
Yeah.
And
so what we're trying to do with this diet is we're reprogramming our body. What the heck did I say? We're reprogram. So what we're trying to do through this diet is we're trying to reprogram our bodies to use fat for energy instead of sugar. And the only way to do that is to starve our bodies of sugar.
Now remember, you never want to do any of this stuff without talking to your doctor first, because not everybody's the same. Diets, we know throughout histories, it works for some, it doesn't work for others. This is something that I found that is working for me. I'm not losing weight quickly. I'm losing weight slowly. Since I started on June 5th, I have lost almost 9 pounds. And I feel good. It's the way that I'm feeling. Now, I'm going to tell you, when I first started the diet, I thought I was dying. The first 2 weeks, I wanted to quit.
Oh, yeah.
Because my body was withdrawing from the sugars and the carbs. I wasn't hungry. I just felt like I was dying. I felt like I was in a fog. I felt weak. And it was just the withdrawal. And it's what ketosis does. When you're in that diet and when you're trying to be in ketosis, that's what it's doing. So I gave it a chance because I did want to quit. But I gave it a chance. Now I feel great. I sleep better, actually, because I didn't sleep before. But I'm sleeping better. And I'm losing weight, but not quickly. And that's important to me. Because I need something to work and not to just put a Band-Aid on it. I want something to reprogram my body and work.
Yeah, exactly. And you actually have a unique perspective on this diet because you're struggling with something else too.
Yes, I had a car accident in 2017, and I had an injury to my back where some of my discs were taken out of place and some of them are pretty much herniated. So I received a lot of steroid shots to get me out of the pain because I couldn't walk. I couldn't function. So I received probably over 250 shots in my neck and my waist to relieve me of pain. What they didn't tell me was that these shots were then going to turn into fluid into my body, which then created gain. So I gained almost about 80 pounds since they gave me those shots. I was 195 and I went up to almost 290. So, doing those shots, yeah, it gave me relief, but what they don't tell you and what, if you don't do research, you get pockets of fluid in the areas that they do these shots. So this diet hopefully is moving those fluids around, because now what I'm trying to get my body to do is to feed off of my fats and feed off of my fluid instead of feeding off the sugar. So, this is something new for me. This is something new for us. So far it's working, and I hope that we can help someone out there. And I hope that, it works for other people, or the people that have tried it have great results from it. So, we'll see. We're still new at this.
Yeah, definitely. And we started the diet on June 5th, right? So today when we're recording this, it is Monday, June 22nd. So that means it's been, let's see. Hold on, I'm going to do the math. It has been 17 days. So in 17 days, you've lost 9 pounds?
I lost 9.2 pounds. Because sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. My body's getting used to this.
Yeah, and I so far have lost 7.6 pounds in the past 17 days. So it's a pretty normal weight loss. It's not going to be something drastic, but again, we're not looking for something drastic. We're looking for something long term. So this is like a lifestyle change. Now, I've read that keto is not something typically that people do for very extended periods of time, to be on such a low carb diet, unless you're working with a doctor and your doctor has you on this diet for diabetic reasons or anything else like that. But it's something that's typically short term until you reach your weight loss goal, and then you start reincorporating carbs back into your diet until you slowly.
Good carbs.
So you can see kind of what affects you and what doesn't. But it's not something long term, but we're looking for something, that is going to give us long term life effects. Another thing that we want to get into, now that we talked about what keto is, we talked about ketosis, we've talked about the tools that we use to keep track of our progress. Another really big thing that was really helpful to us is we got a scale, and it's called a
Fit Index scale.
Well, the specific scale that we use is Fit Index. It uses some sort of
biometric system?
Biometric, I believe, to tell you like how much water percentage you have in your body. It tells you your muscle mass and things like that. And so we use that to kind of keep us on track where we're going. It also hooks up to an app on our phone. So we can step on the scale in the morning, hook it up to our phone. It gives us our results. We can track it on our phone. And I love that because I get to see charts that kind of show me my trends, where I trend up and down. If I'm drinking enough water, things like that. It's obviously not like 100% accurate, but it is a pretty good measure. So we've been using that, and it helps us a lot.
Yeah. So what it's doing is the bioimpedance.
Oh, bioimpedance.
Yes. And data regarding body composition.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Bioindependence.
No.
Right?
No, impedance.
Bioimpedance?
Yeah.
Oh, it's direct
right
from
there.
the app. It's right from the app.
It's bio.
So this is for the Fit Index. It says all data collected from the device body fat scale is obtained through bioimpedance and data regarding body composition. Such data is a great reference point even when compared to data obtained professionally and can help you monitor your weight and long-term fitness. However, it is not to be used as basis for medical treatment. And that's right from the Fit Index app. That's where I'm reading that from.
Yeah, that's from the Fit Index, but there's a lot of scales out there that do the same thing. You know, do your research. We bought ours off Amazon, so we're not really like trying to promote one certain weight scale. There's plenty out there. Read your reviews and pick the one that's best for your budget and what you need it for. This one fits ours. It works really well. It hit our budget very nicely. So it's great readings. I mean, it reads your water level, it reads your metabolic age, it reads your muscle mass, your fat. It reads everything, and then it keeps track of your weight. So, and there's plenty of them out there. So just do your research and purchase the best one for you.
Definitely. And so now that we've gone over those things, what we want to also talk about is another part of the keto diet. One of the biggest things that's going to get you where you want to be is there's actually a ratio for the keto diet that you are to follow in the foods that you eat. And so, and again, this can be different for every person. In the beginning, we kind of had to adjust our carbs as we went because in the beginning, I was reading on my urine analysis that I was in starvation mode. You don't want to be in starvation mode. You want to be in just the right level where you're burning, but you're not starving your body. And so we kind of had to adjust along the way as well. But generally, the what they quote unquote call the perfect keto ratio would be anywhere from 70 to 80% of your daily protein coming from fat, 5 to 10% carbs, and 10 to 20% protein.
And again, that's something that you have to really talk to your doctor about and see what ratio you should be in, because everybody's different.
Yes. And again, just like there's a scale that helps us keep track of all of those things that she mentioned, there's also apps out there as well that can help you calculate macros. So you can type in keto macro into your app store if you have Android or iPhone or whatever it is. Type in macro, or you can type in keto calculator. And there's so many apps out there that will help you keep track of this so that you can get the idea of what you need to be eating to reach those ratios. So those are really great tools.
What I also like about a lot of those apps is all you have to do is type in the food that you're eating, and it tells you your net carbs. And it also, if you program it, and these are free apps. Some of them do have paid. You can pay for the app, or you can purchase in-app stuff. But what you do is you program it, and then as you're putting in for your day, you put in all your foods. It calculates your net carbs, your proteins, your fats, and it tells you where you should be at. And also, a lot of them are connected with probably your Fitbit or anything like that you're wearing. That also helps your doctor keep control of as well. A lot of people are like, well, I'm vegan. What am I supposed to eat? How do I do a low carb diet? Well, actually, there's a lot of vegetables out there that do have carbs, and you have to be careful. She's going to tell you a little bit more, because let me tell you, when she started to say that she was vegan, I thought, I need my meat. I need, like, how do you do this?
That's what everyone
and
thinks.
actually, she eats really well, and I like a lot of the foods that she eats that's taking place of burgers or hot dogs or anything like that. She's gonna tell you more about on that.
Yeah, guys, I run into people every day that when I talk to them and I tell them I'm vegan, they look at me like, what? How do you do it? Like, what do you eat? Some people think there's nothing to eat. But guess what? A lot more people every day are becoming vegan. And so there are a lot of vegan options out there. There are a lot of vegan restaurants out there. I have been to a handful of vegan restaurants just in my area. So I know that they're becoming more and more apparent. And there are lots of vegan meats out there. I'm not going to tell you that they're going to taste exactly like meat, because they don't. But we buy this vegan meat. It's called the Beyond Burger. And I've actually converted Mimi over here into eating them. She actually prefers them over regular burgers. And that's saying a lot because she was a, big burger steak eater. And I, in the past, was a big burger and steak eater. And these guys do it for me, and I can never go back.
No, me either. I can't
It's
eat
so
a
good.
I ate a regular burger and I was like, I need my Beyond Burger.
Yeah.
They're so good. They taste like yes, Jinx. They taste like you grill them. I don't know. It's really, really good. And not only that it's good, it's filling.
Yes.
I mean, it's good.
It
changed me. It changed my husband. It's good. And he's a skeptic. He won't eat anything.
I know, picky eater. And another big misconception people have is they think I don't get enough protein. Well, I get plenty of protein. And one thing I do is, first of all, there are plenty of vegan protein shakes out there that have just as much, if not more, protein than you get in a regular protein shake. I'm not sure if you're aware, but Silk, the brand that sells almond milk and coconut milk and all of that, have been touting for years that their milk actually has more protein than regular milk. And when you read the contents of the soy milk versus the almond milk or coconut milk, whichever one you drink, and compare it to a jar of regular milk, you'll see that the almond milk, soy milk, and coconut milk all actually have more protein than regular milk,
and
believe
calcium.
it or not. And vegetables. There's so many vegetables out there that are a great source of protein. So these vegan meats and everything that I'm eating, I am not missing out on my protein, guys. Trust me. According to my app, actually, I am doing very adequately well on my protein.
Not only that, you feel better. It's just the way you feel. You don't feel tired. You're not tired.
Feel weighed down.
You don't feel weighed down either. When you eat a meal, you actually eat a meal.
We're coming to you with this podcast from Orlando, Florida. So when I'm talking about that there's a lot of like vegan restaurants in our area, I'm talking about Orlando, Florida.
Not just that. I mean, there's a lot of places now that also cater to vegans.
Oh my gosh.
So many places now.
I don't know if there's anyone out there who's heard of Mellow Mushroom. It's like one of the best pizza places. Guys,
Yeah,
Mellow
pizzas are
Mushroom
good.
has vegan pizza now. Like completely vegan cheese.
Really good.
Vegan, and then they don't have vegan meat, but they like top it with vegetables. But the fact is you can get vegan cheese on their pizza, and then they'll do their pizza crusts without butter or anything like that, so that you're vegan. And before I found out about that, I actually used to still order from Domino's. Was it Domino's or Pizza Hut?
Domino's.
No, not Domino's. Pizza Hut. I would order from Pizza Hut because you can get vegan pizza by ordering no butter on your crust, and then I just do sauce, and then I top it with all the veggies, and then I order the cinnamon breadsticks because they don't contain any butter or anything. Those are like the only two vegan items they have on their menu. Whereas Domino's, your only option is the thin crust pizza that doesn't have butter. Anyway, that was off on a tangent. But my point is, and none of those things are keto friendly, but my point is there's vegan options out there.
Right, that's just besides
but the vegan, I know that was off on a tangent. That was off on a
that
tangent.
Was beside we started. Those are just vegan options for people who
but we're talking
have thought about
keto.
doing vegan and just don't know how. Anything you start is always hard in the beginning. It's just up to you on how you want. What do you want? Is this something that you truly want to do? Because anything that you truly want to do, you'll make it happen. If you're going to put obstacles in the way as soon as you start doing it, then, you're never going to get there. So you really have to want this. I've been on a yo-yo diet all my life. I've always been overweight. I've tried Jenny Craig's. I've tried Nutrisystem. I tried pretty much everything. I even tried the last thing that actually really worked. It got me down to 195, and it was Nutrimost. And it worked because when I started it back in 2016, they had this device that you would put your hand on, and it would scan your body, and it would tell you what foods are best for you, what you were low on. So you got all the vitamins that you needed to bring you back up to par, and then it gave you all the foods that you needed to eat. And then they gave you drops and they gave you everything and they sent you home, and then you would come in and you would monitor, and it actually really worked. Well, they stepped in and took away the hand
scan.
The hand scan, because they were saying that too many people were reporting that it wasn't working. I don't know. For me, it worked. It was a miracle for me. But ever since they took it away, for me now it's just a typical diet. Now, it's still working for a lot of people. It might work for you. Again, every diet is different. So now I'm trying keto. So this is, something is working. It's so far working. I'm feeling great. And that's the most important part to me, is that I feel good. And I'm not hungry.
Yeah. So if you're listening and all of a sudden the audio in my microphone just got like 10 times better or a little louder, I apologize, because I just changed my whole life by adjusting the way that I would have my microphone. I'm just being real for a minute.
Game changer.
Yeah, I just found a game changer. And in a month, I'm going to be a professional programmer.
Seriously.
In creating this podcast.
She'll be able to add that to her resume.
Honestly. So anyway, where were we? You talked about you were talking about Nutrimost and how it doesn't work anymore.
Well, not that it doesn't work anymore.
Well, it doesn't work for you.
It doesn't work for me anymore.
Right. It doesn't work for you anymore.
Because I don't like diet programs or any kind of plans, or, that ask me questions, because I feel like, well, you can ask me questions all day, but I'm not going to know how to honestly answer some of those questions, because some of those questions that you're filling out in a questionnaire when it comes to your diet plan, like, well, are you going through this or are you going through that? And it's like, well, are you asking me something that happened to me like 10 years ago? Or are you asking me something that's happening now? So you really don't answer those questionnaires truthfully, and so you're really not getting a true match on what you should be eating or taking. That's how I feel. For some people it works. For me, it just doesn't work anymore, which is very disappointing, because I did that program twice and it got me to my weight where I wanted to be. Mm-hmm. So,
or if you're like me and the question, like the answer that you put maybe makes you feel a little bad, you could just tell a little white lie.
That's the thing.
That's true. If you're like, you know what?
It's true.
I'm going to say no because that ain't me.
Like, how many people can truly say that they fill out those questionnaires to the T, to the actual truth? Nobody. Yeah. Nobody. And then sometimes those questions are on an average basis. We're not all average. We're all individual people. And I hate when we're being treated as a whole, because we're not. Your pupils just got huge. Like, what's going on with that?
I don't know. Maybe I just got really excited. It's like,
they're so huge. Like, if they just got dilated.
Maybe. I don't know.
Like, what's going on over there? She's turning into a vampire over
it's
here.
It's like, it's, I don't know. When it comes to like your weight and stuff like that and certain things with your health, you don't want people judging you, and so sometimes you don't want to be 100% truthful, because you don't want that person to be like, oh really, this is what you do, and this is how you eat, and this is how much you exercise. So sometimes we like to tell a little bit of a white lie to at least make ourselves feel better. Be like, oh well, today I got up 10 times to go to the refrigerator, so that counts as moderate exercise, right? No, it doesn't. But don't we all wish it did?
No, it doesn't.
Like, guys, I overslept 2 hours. That means that I technically burned extra calories, right?
No.
No. You wish. I wish. I wish.
No. So. But weight is something that everybody's struggling with. I mean, even just normal sized people.
Mm-hmm. Some people want to gain weight.
The doctor said I got to lose 10 pounds.
Yeah.
So we're always battling with our weight. And the thing that just gets me so angry is that when you look at all the ingredients and a lot of things that we eat, it's probably the main cause of why we're gaining weight. And then the fingers are pointed at us like, it's you're the one who's making yourself fat. You're just lazy and you're just always eating. No, it's a lot of things that are in the products that we eat. A lot of the frozen foods, a lot of the pizzas, a lot of canned goods, you read those ingredients. That's the main cause of why our metabolisms are low, why, we're constantly, our blood sugars are high, our high blood pressure is off the roof. Everybody is on some type of medications to control something. And, it's all about the ingredients. Once you eliminate all of that from your diet, you're going to see how easy it is, how better you're going to feel.
Yeah. I know, speaking from my personal experience, first of all, I live in Florida, as we stated earlier, and even people who've never had allergies before ever come to Florida, and all of a sudden, guess what? You have seasonal allergies. Mm-hmm. It's a thing. There's just so much pollen in Florida. And so I suffered for a really long time with terrible, terrible allergies, like to the point that I would get constant sinus infections. I think 2 years ago, I had like 4 sinus infections back to back to back. Out of those 4 times, twice I took antibiotics. The third time I said, no, I cannot continue taking antibiotics because antibiotic resistance is a thing and they will keep giving you antibiotics. So at one point I just had to stop myself and I had to start looking at what I needed to change in my diet and in my life. And I also did the Nutrimo system with you, the one that worked the first time. The first time it worked for me as well. The second time it didn't. I'm not sure what happened, but it stopped working for me. That's what brought me to keto. And so I also used to suffer from migraines. I would get constant headaches, all that kind of stuff. I would feel like groggy, tired and stuff all the time. And yes, you kind of feel that in the beginning because you're basically like detoxing your body. So you get a little bit of what they call like the keto flu. And it's completely normal. You just have to go through it until you start feeling better again. And then once you feel better, you feel amazing. Like so amazing that I have the energy to do this podcast now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just being serious. Like there's so many things, like a list of things that I've always wanted to do. And I just always feel like, oh, I don't have the energy to do it. Oh, I don't have the energy to do it this day. Oh, maybe I'm just going to put it off till next week. And now I just feel like this burst of energy. Like there's so many things that I can do and that I want to do. And it's a great feeling. And all we want to do is hopefully maybe somebody will hear this and they'll relate to us and they try it and it works for you. And I hope it does.
Well, it's like another thing. Before I started with Nutrimost, I had skin allergies. No one could ever tell me what was wrong with my skin. I pretty much lived like the life of a vampire. I couldn't be out in the sun for more than 5 minutes before the sun burned me to the point where it gave me the flu. My skin swelled and I couldn't get out of bed for a week or sometimes even more. I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And I was suffering migraines. And what Nutrimost did for me was when it removed all the sugars, all the bad stuff from my diet, all of that started disappearing. I can be out in the sun. I can go to the beach now. So it's not just that the Nutrimost changed my life. It made me see how to eat food. And all those things that I used to eat that everybody out there eats, I don't eat those. And I keep them out of my diet. And I can be out in the sun. I don't suffer migraines. I don't have symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis. I don't have symptoms of fibromyalgia. I can get out of bed every day without taking one pill. But that's my story, what happened with me. Again, everybody is different. You just have to find what works for you.
Raise your hand if you're currently addicted to sugar.
Everybody is.
Yeah, a lot of people probably raise their hand. If you didn't raise your hand, then you must be on a sugar-free diet. That's or right. On a no-carb diet, or else guess what? You're addicted to sugar. I didn't even know I was addicted to sugar. It's like being addicted to coffee. You have to have your cup of coffee every morning. What happens the one day that you stop drinking your cup of coffee? You feel like you're dying.
Yeah.
Are you dying? No. Your body is just begging for something that you give
Withdrawals.
It to every day. I don't know if I said that right. I said give it to. Something that you give to it. Something that you give to it every day.
Withdrawals.
It happens. Withdrawals don't mean you're dying. If you power through it, make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're eating what you need to eat. Make sure you're drinking the amount of water that you're supposed to be drinking. And just kind of try to power through it. That's what we did. And it worked for us. And like she said again, that's just us. It might not work for everybody.
And
but
also,
we're just sharing.
And also, not just that, make sure that you're seeing your doctor. Make sure that you go to a doctor that's agreeing with all of these things for you, that's going to help you feel healthy. Make sure that you go to a chiropractor and get adjusted, because that being adjusted is also, that was a big change in my life as well. And, getting adjusted, getting massages. I know a lot of people are thinking, well, I'm going to pay for all this. Some of your insurance does pay for it. So, if you have insurance, it should help you pay for it. If not, there's a lot of deals out there. Whatever works for you, this is for your health. This is for your life. So making changes like that, I can't express or stress how important it is for you.
Absolutely. And to put into perspective the thing that you're saying, like, this is for your health, it's worth the investment for your body, right?
Yeah.
Well, I know in the past I used to put money in all kinds of ridiculous things, like putting money into clothes, shoes, all kinds of things, buying a video game, buying a TV, buying this, buying that. And then when it came to the thing that I sleep on every night, guess what? Sleep is an important part of your life. And guess what? Sleep is also very important in weight loss. Believe it or not, weight is a big part of weight loss. And so one day, Mimi said to me, why do you not get a better bed? Like, why are you not investing in a bed? And then she said, well, you invested in your car, right? Well, that's true. I did invest in a car. How much time do you spend in that car? Well, maybe like 2 or 3 hours. Okay. And that was worth like a 20,000 plus investment. But yet spending a couple $1,000s on a bed, something that you sleep in every night, 8 hours or more, isn't. And then that kind of opened my eyes a little bit. I was like, wait, maybe I'm focusing on the wrong things. And this is just a general, like, food for thought thing. Like, think about your life and think about where you're putting your energy and your money. Are you putting it into things that are bettering yourself? And that includes the things that you put in your body, and everything goes round circle back into your diet. It's like that. You are worth investing in. Your health is worth investing in. So don't delay. Do it today.
That's right.
At least that's how I feel.
Hey, I used to be a negative Nancy. So I was like one of the biggest negative people ever. When it came down to weight loss or anything that was for my health, I was always, well, where am I going to get the money from? Or that's too expensive to eat that way. That was my thoughts. And then I started just changing how I was buying things. Those are little changes you do until you, pretty soon you start seeing, oh my gosh, your whole habit changed. So you start baby steps, you got to crawl, and then you got to take your little baby steps, and then you got to start walking. And once you start walking, you'll be running. By the time you know it, you'll be running.
Oh, yeah.
It takes time and dedication, and repeating. Repeat, and stay repetitive.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Absolutely. Also, there's one thing I wanted to mention. I watched it yesterday. I'm not sure if I told you about it. I watched a video yesterday, and it was a doctor who came up with this, like, probiotic blend. And I'm not advertising that anybody go buy the probiotic blend. I'm not advertising you buy it at all, because I wouldn't even buy it. But it's called Symbiotic 365, and I'm only saying that because if you go to Symbiotic 365, there is a video on there, and it's a doctor, and he goes through and he talks about all of the things that are
eat up your guts.
Eat up your gut. Yeah, so your gut health is what keeps your whole body in check. And when your gut is happy, your whole body is happy, and you begin to thrive. And he goes over so many things, like things that I didn't even know that I learned, that are things that I'm going to cut out of my diet now because I didn't know how unhealthy they were. And believe it or not, there's a couple vegetables on that list that we as consumers aren't aware of. And I suggest you go watch the video,
make your own
and
research.
Look it up, and just watch it, listen to it, learn, do your own research to go along with it. But it was like another eye-opener for me in my diet. And for the most part, they're all things that I already knew, but there were a couple things in there that I didn't know. The one with the vegetables being the biggest thing. So if you're looking into this diet, you're obviously listening because you're also trying to go on a journey yourself for weight loss, for health, whatever it might be. So I recommend just taking a taking a listen and seeing what he talks about in the video, because a lot of it is things that I already learned through various other doctors, but there were some things I learned that were new and that you can do research on and learn more about yourself and educate yourself and make sure that you are being as informed as possible when you're going into the store buying your groceries, the things that you look for, the things that you buy.
A good probiotic is really good to be taking every day.
Yeah, they recommend probiotics, especially
if you're taking antibiotics.
Yeah, too. Especially antibiotic, because antibiotic, this is talked about in the video as well, but I already knew this, like how bad antibiotics are for your body.
Because it eats all your good florals.
Yeah, the antibiotic is great for what its purpose is, which is getting rid of infection and bacteria. But what you don't know is the antibiotic is basically like putting a nuclear bomb in your stomach. It doesn't differentiate the good from the bad. It gets rid of everything. Yep. So taking a probiotic is important because it helps build up all the good bacteria. The good bacteria is what you need. Ultimately, the good bacteria is going to help you have a proper stomach lining. So it's going to
help the biotic do its job.
Correct. So yeah, keep the good things in and keep the bad things out. You want the good things to be in your bloodstream, the bad things to be detoxed out of you.
But yeah, that doctor, I did hear about that doctor.
I forgot what his name was. I'm going to look it up.
That probiotic you was talking about, I thought about purchasing it, but I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of probiotic out there that are really good, that are lower priced. And you don't have to do any kind of membership. Just do research.
Yeah. I mean, I was doing research on the Symbiotic 365. I couldn't find, like, any good reviews. And on this website called Best Probiotic Reviews Info, it has a C-. So that's why I didn't buy it. But either way, the video was very informative.
What was it that... What are the vegetables that...
So what this probiotic... I can't talk. What makes this probiotic different from other probiotics is the things that they put in it. So some of these things I already knew, like to choose a good probiotic, you want a probiotic that has at least 10 different strands of good bacteria. That's a good probiotic. A bad probiotic is something you read the label, it contains like 5. You want at least 10 healthy.
10 or more.
Yeah, 10 healthy bacterias to help your gut. The second thing is a vitamin B complex. It contains a vitamin B complex with all 8 compounds of vitamin B. So that's another thing that helps you with keeping your gut in check. And also, I've been reading that apparently vitamin B is also good for boosting energy, which I never knew. I was going to buy a vitamin B complex, but then I was reading the reviews. I actually
take vitamin B.
Really? I was reading the reviews and it said that, is it a B complex or a regular B? Oh, this is a B complex. So
it's a B12 everything. Complex.
Oh, so it has 8 compounds. Oh, maybe I need to try that. Because I was going to buy a vitamin B complex, and then I kept reading things that people said it turned their urine neon yellow or something like that. And I was like, no, I don't want that.
It depends, because the one that I take is a B12. I got it off Amazon. It had great reviews. It's a B12 vitamin complex. So it has a lot of things in it, and it gives you energy, and it helps me feel good. It helps me keep focused, energized. My urine doesn't change.
Maybe it was just the ones
it could be the ones that they're taking. Maybe they're taking the drops.
No, they're pills.
Because I remember when I took the drops that you would add to your water. Yeah, that one. That one I didn't feel too good on, and yeah, it changed my urine.
The main thing I read was that the one that was causing the urine change was like a extra strong vitamin B. Because the B complex, it was like really strong.
That's why, see, when I was on vitamin B, well, I still take it every once in a while. I'm going to be honest, I don't take it every day. But the one who put me on it was a doctor. So I just keep doing it on my own. But they put you on the right amount. So if you're not taking the right amount of B12, you're harming yourself.
Yeah.
Some people don't even need B12 and they're taking it just to take it. If you're taking some type of vitamin and you don't need it, or a doctor's not advising for you to take it, you have to be really careful, because you could be hurting yourself instead of helping yourself. So
And again, that kind of goes back to what we've been saying probably like 8 times now through the podcast, you know. You
Always
have to
consult
have
your doctor.
Exactly, a doctor that you trust, a good doctor, you know, and have those conversations with them, because that coupled with you on the right diet is really going to be key here. And lastly, we talked about keto and, you know, other things. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze.
I'm like, what is that?
That was me breathing through my...
I was like, is that me?
Why does it sound like that? Does that not sound like a nasal? Like, it sounds like I'm spraying my nose with a nasal spray.
Yeah.
No, that's just me breathing. Oh, yours just comes through. I think it's because mine is a compressor mic and yours isn't compressing.
Look, I'm sick and tired of you telling me that.
I'm so tired of you telling me my mic is inferior. So.
Oh, another thing I want to stress is, well, me and Sammy, we're always in the kitchen trying to invent things.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Because we were big sweet eaters, like cupcakes, cake, you know, so cookies.
I wouldn't say that I was a sweet eater.
Well,
what I will say is that I was a big breakfast eater in terms of pancakes. Like, I love my pancakes.
Yeah. And especially for her, it's hard because she's vegan. So, and you know, a lot of like cupcakes and cake mix and pancake mix require eggs. And
my gosh.
Then we're on the low carb diet, so on the keto diet. So it's even harder because she can't use eggs for the cake mix or anything like that, or for the pancakes. So we've been trying to create it. We still have a lot of fails, although they're still good to eat. But we're gonna create it, and when we do, we're gonna. She's sharing it in her recipe book that she's working on.
Yeah. Basically, I chose to do the most complicated possible diet in like the entire world. I chose to be vegan and keto. So, if there's a more restrictive diet out there, please let me know. Because apparently I'm on a journey to be on the most difficult diet possible. But I mean, other than having a very hard time getting a decent pancake to come out that doesn't flatten to like a centimeter, or getting a cake to fluff up, although I did make a decent cake that didn't completely flatten, but pretty much your option is either use eggs or use some really high carb substitute to get the fluffy texture. Yeah. And I did like a very small amount of applesauce so that it's still like low carb, and it still didn't work. So, but as of this point, I haven't quite quit yet. I'm just taking a step back. I am looking at all my options, and I'm going to come up with something. And when I do, I will probably have been the first to do so, to make a keto and vegan pancake. Because trust me, I have scoured the internet, like scoured up, down, sideways, left, right, and cannot find anything. So, but yeah, like she said, I am working on my own recipe book. It is going to be a vegan/keto recipe book. There are a lot of recipes I really love that were not keto, so I might do one that's like vegan for regular, that's still kind of low carb but not quite on the keto end where we're severely limited, and then like a vegan keto one if you're following the keto diet and you're vegan. So, yeah.
Yeah, and if you have like, you know, any questions, or, you know, always visit us at YouTube.
Yes, we do have a YouTube channel. It's called ChatsToRecaps. And we also have if you're listening to the podcast on Anchor, there is also, it creeps me out every time I breathe in. It goes, oh, now it's not doing it. It's making me look like a fool.
I'm like, what is going on in here?
There was something I was doing, and it was making a weird sound like every time I breathe.
Do we have gremlins in here?
I don't know.
What the heck?
Maybe. I don't know. But if you're listening to
that's another podcast.
Okay, yeah. If you're listening to the podcast on Anchor, there's an option where you can send us a voice message. So if you want to send us a message, we can respond to it on the next one. And we also have, see, it just did it.
Yeah.
I can never imitate it. I feel like I am Nuke. I am your father. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm misquoting. I am so sorry. I just misquoted Darth Vader. He said, "No, I am your father." P.S. That was a Mandela effect reference. So if
let's not go there.
Oh, we're about to go there on the next episode. Well, not the next episode, but our Friday episode.
Yes.
Yeah, so tune in. There. See, it does it again.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you heard it?
Yeah, you're like...
So creepy. I swear I'm not a ghost. I swear I'm not Darth Vader. I am not Voldemort.
Or a ghost.
Yeah, I'm not a ghost. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the Mandela effect. That's gonna be our Friday episode. So tune in. It's gonna be a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably both gonna be very passionate on the sides of which we talk because we have very different opinions. It's gonna be fun to go through that one. But anyway, we also have an email that you can reach out to us. It is ChatsToRecaps. That is ChatsToRecaps @gmail.com. ChatsToRecaps @gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
No, I just, want to stress that whatever you decide on, whatever you do with any diets or any, anything that's going to be life changing, just make sure you do your homework. I know a lot of people don't like to do homework. We didn't like to do it when we were in school. No. But you know what? I think when we were in school and they had us doing homework, it was to prepare us for life, because everything we decide, we have to do homework. We purchase a car, we have to do homework. We purchase a house, we have to do homework. We purchase life insurance, we have to do homework. Health insurance, have to do homework.
True.
And, diets is the same thing. You have to do your homework. You have to do your homework, and you have to make sure you pick something that's right for you.
Absolutely.
So I wish anyone luck out there. If you want to try the keto diet, if you want to try Nutrimost, if you want to try Jenny Craig, Nutrisystem, they all work. I mean, it works for some people and some people it doesn't. So there's always something out there for you, whether it's surgery, whether it's a diet pill, whether it's a nutrition change. There's something out there for you. You just got to do your homework.
All right. So I think that wraps up another episode of Chats and Recaps. Thanks for tuning in. We hope that you maybe learned something, maybe you had a laugh, maybe you related to us, maybe you felt like we spoke to your soul.
Well, I hope we did.
But either way, thank you for listening. We greatly appreciate it. And we hope you have a magical day, night, morning, whatever it is when you're listening to this.
And of course, stay safe.
Absolutely.
Wear
Stay
your
safe.
mask.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of, I went out into the world for the first time.
Yeah.
Not for the first time in my life, obviously.
I know.
But since quarantine, actually, I quarantined before quarantine was even required.
That's true.
So I had not left this house for months, like 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, almost 4 months actually. Because I quarantined as soon as I even heard about the virus, but before it got bad. And so today was my first day out in the world. And it was very surreal seeing everybody wearing face masks. It was like the most bizarre experience ever. But then there was a weird part of me that was like happy to be out in the world. But anyway, when you go out there, just be safe. Make sure you are protecting yourself. Make sure you wear your masks. I also took hand sanitizer. So anytime I touch something, as soon as I walked out of the store, I sanitized my hands. Do not touch your face mask until you have sanitized your hands. And make sure that you store it in a safe, clean space. Make sure that you sanitize everything that goes into your home, and we just want to make sure that you guys are staying healthy and happy. Tune in next time,
and many blessings.
Our next episode is going to be a Bachelor recap, which will be posted on Wednesday. So stay tuned. We are not health professionals. This content is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition, treatment, or diet changes. These are our personal experiences and opinions and are not intended to be used in place of medical treatment.